without any delay, we are going to start our today's lecture. And we have completed our 9 houses, right, out of 12, because we are on the way to complete our 12 houses. So till now, we have completed 9 houses. Today, we'll be finishing 10th, 11th, and 12th house, right? We are just left with 3 houses only. So if you are having any doubt regarding any house, you may ask. And we also looked upon the fact that a house does not represent only one thing, it represents more than one thing, right? So, any aspect of the life of the person could be seen just through these 12 houses, right? Just through these 12 houses. Any aspect, finance, expenditure, spouse, material happiness, spiritual journey, courage, hard work, risk taking, love marriage, arranged marriage, disease, long term, short term, profession, gain, export, import, partnership, any aspect. You speak anything and it could be seen from the horoscope. And initially, I also told you that even from the horoscope, it could be seen that after the person leaves this body, where the soul is going to go, higher planets or lower planets. But that is something which is very, very advanced. And also, we are not, it is not something which is required, right? Okay, initially, right? Okay. So moving ahead, we'll be finishing our 10th, 11th, and 12th house, right? Because you are not having any doubt regarding the 9 houses, right? Okay. So moving ahead, what is the 10th house? The one word given to the first house, it is personality. The second house is savings or family. The third house is siblings or hard work. The fourth house is mother or happiness. The fifth house is education. Education. This is E, right? The fifth house is education or intellect, right? And the sixth house is adapt, disease, and enemy. The seventh house is spouse or partnership. The eighth house is your longevity or chronic disease, you can say, right? Or any sudden obstacle, sudden loss, separation, anything. Okay. What is ninth house? Ninth house is your father, your guru, or your religion. What is 10th house? 10th house is profession. So one word given to the 10th house, that is profession mainly. This is why the Kendra houses, what are those houses? The center houses, they are 1, 4, 7, and 10. The personality, which is you, also first house represents the behavioral aspects, also immunity, right? Health, etc. So your health is your priority. The fourth house, which is happiness, happiness is your priority. Also the food and shelter. Food to be seen from second house, but shelter to be seen from fourth house, right? What is seventh house? Seventh house is your spouse. Your spouse plays a very vital role in your life, both in terms of spirituality as well as material happiness, right? And 10th house, which is your profession. Until or unless you're not having anything to do, no income, and no income, no survival. So profession is required, right? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, do what you are meant, right? What you are meant for. Like Arjuna, he was a army person, he was a Kshatriya, right? So Krishna was asking him to fight. Okay, that's something else. That's something in chat box. Okay. Anandmay Mata Radhika Mata, she's asking for Zoom link. Mm, Just hold on for a second. Mhm. Okay. So, so 10th house is your profession mainly, right? And with profession, your status is linked, right? So status in the society also to be seen from the 10th house. How much name, fame, respect in terms of career you are going to get to be seen from the 10th house, right? Also authority, higher the profession, higher the authority you have, right? Okay. So we have four varnas, that is Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudras, right? So from top to bottom, the authority level it decreases, right? It decreases, right? Okay. So it is nothing as such that Brahmins they do have more authority or anything as or they are more senior. No, everyone is equal, but still the authority is given more to Brahmins, right? Because they are having more intellect. Okay. Okay. Moving ahead. So government job and servant, because 10th house also represents the government and also profession. The government and profession to be seen from the 10th house, right? That means if the Lord of if the Lord of 10th house sits in the second house or in the 11th house, right? Because what is 10th house? 10th house is government. If the Lord of 10th house sits in the second house, what is second house? It is finance. So we would say that person is going to earn finance from the government. Finance from the government. That means government job, right? Also, it could also mean because second house represents what? It represents family. So person could indulge or the person could have a profession which is family business, or the person could indulge in a profession which is related to speech because second house is your speech. That means marketing, communication, right? This is how we are supposed to link the aspects or the factors, right? One of the women, she was having the seventh lord in the 10th house. What is seventh lord or what is seventh house? It is the spouse, it is the partner, marriage partner, and she was having in the 10th house. And what is 10th house? It is profession. And she got her partner from her workplace. She used to work together with the partner, and later they fall in love and they did love marriage, right? So seventh lord when it sits in the 10th house, it could be it could be predicted that the person could get the spouse from the professional place, right? And if the seventh lord sits in the fourth house, what would be told or what would be said? Because what is fourth house? Fourth house is the birthplace or the place where you live. And what is seventh house? It is the spouse. That means, and seventh house is marriage. That means marriage from the birthplace, right? Near around where you were born or where you are living, you will get your partner from near around place. Need not to go 100 kilometers far or anything, right? You could get your partner around 40, 50 kilometers within the range, right? From the same city, etc. Right? And love marriage to be seen from Venus as well as Mars, right? Venus particularly, right? And Jupiter, because Jupiter is a religious planet, and Jupiter Jupiter is a religious planet. Also, Jupiter follows the system. Jupiter follows the system. So whenever Jupiter sits in the seventh house, right, the person usually it could be said that person may have the arranged marriage, right? Okay, moving ahead. But yes, the spouse is very supportive, right? Okay. So moving ahead, what is 10th house? Professionally, agriculture also to be seen from 10th house, because 10th house represents profession. And within profession, in previous time, we used to have just two things. Either the person would work under someone or the agriculture, because agriculture used to be a very good profession in previous time, because you are not supposed to work under someone. You will cultivate your own crop and you will have your survival. So agriculture also to be seen from the 10th house, right? Moving ahead. Not doctor to be seen from 10th house, not doctor, right? It is something which is related to horary, right? I think in horary, even the person could ask, or the astrologer could tell that the doctor who is looking after the disease of the person, whether that doctor is a very good person in terms of profession or not, right? So this is the power of astrologer. That astrologer could even tell whether the doctor is good or not. The medicine you are taking from XYZ doctor, whether the medicine is working or not. So this is the power of astrologer. The doctors could not tell this thing, right? So if you are master within the planet, you could see the disease, you could see in how much time the disease is going to get cured, and the doctor is right or not, or the person should change the doctor, right? Okay, moving ahead. So name fame also to be seen from the 10th house. Owner and boss also to be seen from the 10th house, right? Owner and boss. That means if anyone wants to see that what kind of relation the person is going to have with the boss or the senior person, to be seen from the 10th house, right? Let's say any person who is having moon and Venus in the 10th house, what could be predicted? Let me know. Vidiji, are you there? Nayananda Prabhu, Anandmai, Radhika Manda. Yes, Vidiji, want to speak?
It's is it dermatologist? Because and Venus, they derm
Hmm.
issues.
No, 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 no. Anything else? Nayananda Prabhu, Anandmai, Mataji, Narayana Prabhu, and Mataji, Anjani Mataji. Yes. See, when I was teaching you the planets, I told you that Moon is a female planet and Venus is also a female planet. That means when two female planets they are sitting over the 10th house, it could be predicted that the person has more number of females at workplace than males, right? So even from the horoscope, even from the chart of the person, the profession or with whom the person works, the behavior of the boss towards the person, or the person is having more number of females, or any profession which is related to females, anything could be predicted, right? Okay, moving ahead. See, what you are supposed to do whenever you see a planet in any particular house, let's say moon is sitting in the 10th house. So you should know what is 10th house and what is moon. Moon is a watery planet. That means this person could work anything related to water, right? And it could be even the swimming. It could be, you know, and the ship rider, or the person could be into navy when it comes to armed forces, or the person could, water, anything that we find under the water, like jewels, right? The person could do a profession related to that, finding the jewels, or the person is a swimming trainer, right? Or anything, even the export import, right? Water related, anything, even the flowers which is cultivated in the water, the person could supply that, right? So whenever you see a planet, you should have, a brainstorming. Okay, moon is setting and moon is this, and 10th house is this. So I should club all these things. And if you want to get more precise, you check other factors too, right? This is how the things are done. And moon also changes very quick. Like today, the moon is full moon, tomorrow half moon, then no moon. That means the person could indulge in a profession where the person changes a lot. That means new projects or meeting new clients, etc. Right? Okay, moving ahead. Even I told you that moon is a white planet, and dairy related items to be seen from moon. So even the milk suppliers, or anything that you are preparing with the help of milk, that could be seen when the person has moon in the 10th house. Yes, Narayana Prabhu, you want to ask something?
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. That agriculture is there. No, you said no, before was glorious. Do we have any variation? Like what could be today? Like some how to make it in today's language instead of direct agriculture? Something similar to that.
Okay. Yes, Prabhuji. Your question is very beautiful, right? So I'll contemplate, Prabhuji, है ना? Then I'll let you know.
Prabhu, like let's say like Lord of the Tenth in the first. What would that be?
Okay. So Lord of the 10th house in the first house, the very first thing is that the person is way too workaholic. That means he loves, or the priority is professional life more than the domestic life, because the profession has come to the first house, right? Also, the person is hardworking because the personality has a link with the profession. Also, name fame, you can say if the Lord is strengthened, right? Also, the 10th house represents authority. That means the person could have authority, because first house is person and 10th house is authority. Also, the person could have a link related to government, because 10th house is government. So this is how we link the house. and even more deeper things you could find, right? I hope you got the point through.
Okay, Prabhu.
Very good. Yes. So we were on to our 10th house, right? So owner and boss, and to influence others. Obviously, if you have the authority in your hand, right, you can influence other, right? Okay, and also order, because see, all these things, they are very linked to each other. The authority, right? If you have authority, you can make orders, etc. But one particular thing or the main aspect to be seen from the 10th house, it is the profession, right? Anything related to professional life. The boss is female or the male could be seen from the chart. The person has more number of female. What is the profession? Anything, right? Also, the um, Narayan Prabhu, you want to ask something?
Prabhu, what does it mean, owner, boss? Like one may become owner or boss, or
Okay. Roji, your immediate senior, right? Your immediate senior, that is the manager or the head of department, you can say.
so you are working under somebody.
Yes, yes,
Oh. Mhm. Mhm.
yes, right. And also the promotions and the demotions could be seen from the 10th house, right? So whenever Jupiter comes to the 10th house in transit, it gives promotion, right? So any question which is related to promotion or anything such, sometimes, the false accusations to the person on professional life, it comes. Even few days back, my one of my cousin was telling me that my manager has resigned because some false accusations were imposed. This is what manager is saying. So you want to, you know, this is to be seen from the 10th house. So a person who was having the Rahu, Rahu in the 10th house, and that too with Venus. So what is 10th house? 10th house is profession. So you write P. What is Rahu? Rahu is false accusation or honey trap, anything, any wrong trap you can say. And what is Venus? Venus is female. So this person was falsely accused by a woman, by a female on workplace, right? This is how the predictions are made. You club just these three things and you will see the impact. And also, see, it is really very easy to, to predict anything. But when it is going to happen, what would be the timing? Then you can check the dasha of either Rahu or the Venus. If the dasha of Rahu comes and the antar dasha of Venus comes, this event may happen. If the dasha of Venus comes or the antardasha of Rahu comes, this event may happen, right? Okay. But the more chances are of Rahu and Venus, the Mahadasha of Rahu and the Antardasha of Venus, not the Mahadasha of Venus and Rahu, right? The more chances are of this. Or you say in this period it could happen, not under this Venus and Rahu. Okay, so moving ahead. So we have completed our 10th house, right? Also, see, let me tell you how we club the different things. Let's say if the seventh house or the seventh lord posited or sits in the second house, what could be the predictions? What could be the assumptions? Let me know. Yes. So it's very easy. See, what is second house? Second house is your finance. And what is seventh house? Seventh house is your marriage or your spouse. So the person could get a spouse, right? But person could get a spouse who is earning. That means finance from the spouse. And finance from the spouse, it could means two things. The one is dowry system in Indian society. And the second is the spouse is working. So both things we could assume or we could say, right? Let's say if the seventh lord sits in the ninth house, what is going to happen? What could be the assumption? Seventh lord in the ninth house. Let me know.
The spouse would be religious.
Okay, spouse would be religious, absolutely. And the spouse is religious, ethical, because ninth house also represents the ethics. And the main thing, the ninth house is fortune and seventh house is marriage. So rise in fortune after marriage, right? The rise in fortune after marriage. And sometimes I tell people that you must have got things in your life after your marriage, and they agree. Yes, after I marry, I got my own house, my own car, etc. Right? So whenever the seventh lord sits in the ninth house, ninth lord sits in the seventh house, it could be told or it could be said that rise in fortune after marriage, right? Okay, so moving ahead. Let's say if the so this is how, see, what I'm trying to tell you, that this is how we connect the dots of the astrology or the houses. Let's say if the 10th lord sits in the fourth house, what could be the predictions or answers from your side? Let me. 10th lord in fourth house or fourth lord in 10th house, anything. Let me know. Try to brainstorm.
One works from home.
Okay, work from home, absolutely correct, Pruji. Absolutely right. And also see the moon, anyone who has moon in the 10th house, because I just got the moon is a planet which strengthens during the night time. So that means night jobs, people who are doing night jobs, they could have moon in their 10th house, right? Okay. So moving ahead, the 10th lord in the fourth house, the work from home. Yes, absolutely. Anything? Also moon when.
Maybe,
Hmm, hmm.
sorry, I'm sorry.
No, Pruji, please.
Maybe a job gives one a great happiness.
Oh, okay. No, Pruji, no. No. Right. Okay. So, so, what I was saying, mm, yes. Mm. Also, when moon sits in the 10th house, it could also means, work from home. Okay. So what I was saying, that whenever the 10th lord sits in the fourth house, what is fourth house? Fourth house is your mother. Fourth house is your property. Fourth house is your house, right? So people who are doing profession related to hospitality, because hospitality, whenever a guest comes, you look after the guest, because fourth house is your house, and in your house guest comes. So anything which is any profession which is related to house or property, it could be seen from the fourth house, from the 10th lord in the fourth house. And also the fourth house represents mother. So to the guest, you are acting as a mother. You are taking care of them, right? So whenever the 10th lord sits in the fourth house, it could be the any profession which is related to hospitality, or doing any profession which is related to property, or your mother could be a government servant, because 10th house represents government, and fourth house your mother, or your mother is professional working. So many things could be seen. And also whenever moon sits in the 10th house, it also means any profession which is related to hospitality, because moon is mother. So taking care of guest, right? Okay. Although 10th lord and fourth house also means so many things, even the interior home interior designers, because fourth house is your house, comfort, any profession you are doing related to related to house, interior decor designers, etc., to be seen from 10th lord in the fourth house, hospitality, right? Okay. So moving ahead. mm, let us say, mm, let's say if the ninth lord sits in the sixth house, what could be the assumption? Although we are going to do that, the lords of each house, through each house, we are going to do this chapter further. But still, you know, you brainstorm, because this is how you are going to learn. It is very easy that I speak and you write, very easy. But you brainstorm by yourself.
Maybe father has a debts.
Absolutely correct, Narayana Prabhu. Because sixth house is debts, and what is ninth house? Ninth house is your father, your luck, your fortune, your guru, your religion. Now let me other things.
It's also maybe it's also it means that problem will be solved with religion or good karma or spirituality.
Yes. Not spirituality, Mataji, but the religious aspects. You are unable to follow, because what is sixth house? Sixth house represents the obstacles. That means the obstacles in following the religious aspects. You are unable to follow the religious aspects imposed by, right? And the ninth house represents profession. And what is sixth house? Obstacles. That means obstacles in fortune, right?
Hare Krishna,
The person,
but it's possible that is opposite.
uh,
No,
opposite in what sense, Mataji?
that this thing, that 6 and 9 house is connected, that means that maybe čakaj, just a moment, da dviguje 6. hišo. That you leave 6th house with this 9 house connection, you know? No, ne razume, ne? Okay, no problem. Ker on pravi, da je, ne, da je, okay, it's okay. Sorry.
Yes, yes. No worries, Mataji. See, what is 9th house? 9th also maybe any, or the father could have debts. The father could have debts, right?
Prabhuji, you are not audible.
Okay. So the father could be a doctor, the father could be into banking, or the father could be into armed forces. Because what is 6th house? Enemy. Is working in armed forces, right? Military person, etc. So whatever I spoke, that the person could have inimical relationship with father. The father could be a doctor, father could be diseased, father could be into armed forces. So I spoke so many things. Now, what is correct amongst all these things? I spoke at least 6 to 7 things. What is more precise? For that, you are also supposed to look at the position of sun. In which house the sun is sitting, with which planet, aspected by which planet, sitting in what zodiac, the placement of sun in Navamsha. Then you will come to more accurate decision, right? And also, one thing I told you, that any person who has Saturn and sun together in the birth chart, particularly males, they do not have, or they have inimical relationship with their father, because Saturn is the child of sun, and he was not having good relationship with father, because his father did not accepted him as a child, right? So looking at so many factors, you come to conclusion, okay, this is the answer, right? Okay, moving ahead. Mhm. So even see your chart, your planets, they are influencing the health, the profession, any aspect of your father. Your chart is influencing, right? Okay. 11th house of the horoscope. One particular term given to the 11th house, it is the gain, right? It is the gain or income. right? The second house is finance, but more it is savings, and the gains or the income to be seen from the 11th house. Now you judge the strength of these two houses. If the 11th house is more strengthened, you could say the person would have more gains but less savings. If the second house is more strengthened, you could say the person could have more savings as compared to gains, right? This is how sometimes people says my income is less, but I could save money. But sometimes people they are earning lakhs, but they are unable to save, right? This is all because of the planets in their chart. So one particular term given to the 11th house is the gain. If the third lord sits in the 11th house, because what is third house? It is the small siblings. You could say gain from small siblings. That could be in any sense. That could be even the partnership. That could be they are very helpful to you, right? Etc. If the fourth lord sits in the 11th house, what is fourth house? It is your own house or the birthplace, your mother. So gain from mother, not in terms that she she's served you during childhood. It could be even in terms of finance. And also these people who are having fourth lord in the 11th house, they earn through rent, right? They earn or they gain through rent because fourth house is your own house, right? Okay. So many things. Even when the fifth lord sits in the 11th house, gain from your own intellect. That means this person earns through own intellect, right? Or the gain from the progeny. Whenever the seventh lord sits in the 11th house, the gain from the spouse, right? And gain does not means just financial gains. It could be in any terms, right? For example, the gain from the spouse in terms that you married a girl and the father of that girl was a very good businessman. So, so you joined the business of the of your father-in-law. That is also gain. To gain from the spouse. Okay. Narayana Prabhu, you want to ask something?
Yes, but what if the 11th Lord is in the second finance? Any connection with them?
Okay, okay. See, Prabhu. Gain from the, let me tell you, whenever the 11th Lord sits in the second house. What is second house? It is savings. And what is 11th house? It is income. That means income from the saving. That means investment, FD, RD, mutual funds, right? In that sense, you could earn through your savings. Or the second house also represents what? It also represents the cavity, your teeth. That means this could be the chart of a dentist. He is gaining through the second house related things. And what is second house? It represents teeth. Also, the gain from the speech, because second house is a speech, right? And one thing just struck in my mind, that is the second house also represents the jewels, right? Okay, forget about jewels as of now. But yes, any person, you know, who is who wants to become a jewelrist, right? Selling diamond, jewelry, etc. To be seen from this second house, right? Also Jupiter. Okay. So this is how we could connect the dots of 11th house with the second house. right? I hope you got the point, Narayan Prabhu. Okay,
Yes, Prabhu.
very well. Okay. So one particular term given to the 11th house, it is the savings, right? It is the, oh sorry, it is the gains. Savings to be seen from the second house. It is the gains and it is also the elder siblings. Now you see the magic. The first house is you, the second house is your savings, the 12th house is your expenditure, although we have not covered. The third house is your small siblings, the 11th house is your elder siblings. The fourth house is your domestic life. The 10th house is your professional life. The fifth house is your progeny. And the ninth house is your father. The sixth house is the small diseases. And the eighth house is chronic diseases. And the seventh house is your partner. That means it is you and your partner who are going through all these aspects of your life, right? This is why we are having two things on one hand side and left hand side, right? Okay, moving ahead. So this is the magic of astrology, right? Our sages, they were so intelligent that they created houses in such a way, right? Okay. So rewards also to be seen from the 11th house. A reward, that means the trophies, medals, appreciation, appraisals, anything, right? Growth also to be seen from the 11th house. Growth, financial growth, particular, to be seen from the 11th house, right? Okay. Knee related issues to be seen from the 11th house, but no, not from the 11th house. I may tell you later. So you also leave this. Longevity of the mother. Can you tell me why longevity of the mother to be seen from the 11th house? Anyone?
Because it's the 8th from the 4th, and 8 is Ayustan.
Absolutely correct. If the 8th house represents your longevity, so 8th from the 4th, because 4th house is your mother. So 8th from the 4th represents the longevity of your mother, right? That means longevity. Anything, any aspect of your mother, her longevity, her health, her professional life, her family relations, anything you could see from your chart, right? So similarly, the longevity of the father to be seen from the which house? Let me know. Longevity of father to be seen from which house?
Second, Prabhuji.
No, it's not second.
The third house.
No,
Oh, 12th.
no.
1, 2.
You count 8 from the ninth.
Then 6, Prabhu.
No, Prabhuji.
Oh, yeah. I was not
Yes,
good in
fourth
school.
house. It's the fourth house.
Yes, absolutely correct. 8 from the ninth house is the fourth house, right? 8 from the ninth house, it is the fourth house. That means the longevity of the father to be seen from the fourth house and longevity of mother to be seen from the 11th. Moving ahead. Ear related issues. Anyone who has Jupiter in the 11th house. This is something which I have normally seen. You know, anyone who has Jupiter in the 11th house, that person has some issues related to ears, right? Okay. Proficiency in art, no, you leave this as of now, right? Moving ahead. So you are having, so we have completed our 12 houses as of now, right? If you are having any doubt, any point which is yet not cleared to you, let me know. Otherwise, we move ahead. Okay. So you are not having any doubt, right? So before moving ahead, I would like to tell you one thing, which is that we have yet not understood that how to check which planet rules which house. And that could only be understood when we know which planet rules what zodiac. So today we are going to do that. We are going to understand which zodiac, what planet rules, or what planet, sorry, what planet is being ruled by, no, which zodiac is being ruled by planets, right? Moving ahead. So, uh, just hold on for a second. Let me find a slide where, yes. So see, just make this on paper, whatever you are having with you. This is number 1. This is number 2. This is number 3. This is number 4. This is number 5. This is number 6. This is number 7. This is number 8. This is number 9. This is number 10. This is number 11. And this is number 12. So, the focal planet of the birth chart, or the most important planet of your birth chart, which planet are they? The most important planet? Let me know.
Sun, moon, and
Absolutely correct.
Jupiter.
Yes, absolutely correct. But particularly Sun and Moon. See, what is Jupiter? Jupiter is your spirituality. Jupiter is your religiosity, your ethics, your good behavior, is your scripture knowledge, etc. But before you move on to scriptural knowledge or ethics, your mind and your soul, they are very important. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is mentioning about Krishna is mentioning about mind. Mind could be a very good friend, or mind could be enemy, right? Okay. So the number 4 is ruled by which planet? It is ruled by moon, which is Cancer sign, right? It is Cancer sign. And number 5 is ruled by sun, because sun is the king and moon is the queen, and they are going to stay together. This is why the moon has taken the number 4 and sun has taken number 5, and they are king and queen, and they are very important planets, so they are very close to each other. Then the number 3 and number 6, they are taken by their child, which is Mercury. Mercury is the prince, and prince also resides or stays with king and queen, very near. Then we do have number 2 and number 7 after Mercury. It is ruled by Venus. Venus is a Brahman planet, right? And also the not cleverness, you would say, but the materiality, right? Etc. to be seen from Venus. Also, the the attraction, and anything which is glittering or attraction, beautiful clothes, etc. Right? Attractive clothes, perfumes, etc. to be seen from Venus. Right? We have completed Venus, and you know better, right? What is Venus? And you must have prepared your notes. I hope so. They are very important. And notes, they are always providing a confidence to the astrologer. Even I have so much notes at my home. When I was learning astrology, I used to write so much, right? So they are still with me, right? So whenever I get confused, I have some doubts, I open my notes, right? Okay. Then we have number 8, number 1 and number 8 to be seen from, or it is Mars. Mars is a Kshatriya and Mars is the army head, right? Mars is the army head. Then we do have number 12 and number 9. Number 9 and number 12. It is taken by Jupiter. It is taken by Jupiter, right? And Jupiter is also a Brahmin and advisor to the king. And number 10 and number 11 taken by Saturn, right? It is taken by Saturn, right? It is taken by Saturn. So this is how we have the classification, or the planets are assigned in such a way, right? We do have the exaltation sign as well as debilitation signs of different planets, and they get exalted and debilitated in different signs except Mercury. Mercury get exalted in own sign. I will share the reason or the logic behind it later, and also the exaltation as well as debilitation sign with the reason, with the logic why the planet gets debilitated in this particular sign, or why it gets exalted in this particular sign, right? So please write it on the paper and also makes make note. Okay, so I'll be playing a slide. Just hold on for a second. Till then you write. Yes. So these are your 12 zodiacs. The number 1 is Aries, which is ruled by Mars. Number 1 and number 8 ruled by Mars, right? The number 8 is Scorpio. Number 2 and number 7, it is ruled by Venus, right? Venus. Number 3 and number 6 ruled by Mercury. Cancer, it is ruled by Moon, and the Leo, it is ruled by Sun. Then we have Sagittarius and Pisces, which is ruled by Jupiter, and number 10 and number 11 ruled by Saturn. This is finished. Very simple, right? And you are supposed to learn them, right? They're very simple. With time, you will learn them. And if you already know that which planet rules what sign, really very good, right? Otherwise, it just takes, very less time. Or with practice, it would come. You can write it on a paper and you can stick somewhere in your almirah, in your books almirah, so that you see again and again and it comes to your mind, right? So in whichever sign the moon sits in the horoscope, that sign becomes the zodiac of that person, right? For example, let me share some slides with you. Yes. For example, you see this slide. The moon is sitting in the first house, but the zodiac which is falling in the first house, it is number 7. And number 7 is Libra. That means this person is having the sign Libra, right? This person is having the sign Libra. This is Indian system of astrology. Western system, they apply sun sign. In whichever sign the sun is sitting, that sign becomes the zodiac of that person. For example, in this chart, the sun is sitting in the number 1, and number 1, it is Aries. That means this person belongs to Aries as per Western astrology. But we do not follow that system. Sun sign, no, it is the moon sign. And we have a very beautiful reason regarding it as well. Because moon is very near to the surface of the earth and sun is very far. So moon or the zodiac to be seen from the moon because it is very near to the surface of the earth. This is why moon chart also plays a very important role, right? And also the sun transits around 1 month in a particular sign. That means people who are born within 1 month, all of them, they would have the common sun sign. That means people who were born from 14th of January to, to 15th of February, they would have the Capricorn as their sign. That means a very large number of population, they would have the same sign. But the moon stays in one zodiac for 2.5 days or 3 days. Within 2.5 and 3 days, it stays. That means people or children who are born within this duration, 2.5 day and 3 days, they would have the common sign. Now, which is more accurate, 1 month or the two 2.5 days or 2 3 days? Which is more accurate? Obviously, this one, 2.5 to 3 days, because this is very less time as compared to 1 month. So this is why we take moon sign more as compared to sun sign, right? This is the logic behind it. Now, the chart which we are dealing with as of now, this is the D1 chart, which is known as Lagna chart. Then we have two more charts, which is the sun chart and the moon chart. Also the Navamsha chart. Although they are the part of advanced astrology, but I will let you know what is that. Right? You write it on a paper and maybe later in future, we could come across it, right? And please make me remember that I have to teach this part too, the sun chart and moon chart, etc. Moving ahead, what I was saying. So, yes. So now you tell me which sign this person is having. Moon sign. Let me know.
It's Cancer.
Absolutely correct. Because moon is sitting in number 4, right? It is Cancer. Now one more. Let me know.
Scorpio.
Absolutely correct, right? Because it is number 8. And what is number 8? Number 8 is Scorpio, right? Okay. Yes, absolutely correct. This is how you can even check your own sign. In this chart, let me know.
Sagittarius.
Yes, absolutely correct. Because it is number 9. Moon is sitting in number 9. And number 9 is Sagittarius, right? Absolutely correct. Right? Okay. Yes. So planets and their sign, right? You can see here, right? Rahu and Ketu, they're not assigned any sign. Even some astrology books says that they do have their this sign, that sign. But as per my observation, they do not have any sign, right? If you want to take a screenshot of this slide, you can take, or if you want to write, you can write, right? Okay. So now how to yeah. So let us jump to this chart, right? This is the chart of Charlie Chaplin, right? As taken from the sources internet, right? And I cannot say this chart is like very accurate, right? But yes, I've taken from internet. Anyways, what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to identify the lords of the houses. This is what we are going to do now. Let me know which planet owns the first house. You can write in the chat
Mars.
box.
Venus.
It is not Mars. It is not Mars.
Venus.
Absolutely correct. It is Venus because it is number 7. And number 7, it is owned by Libra, and Libra is owned by Venus, right? You write it on paper, right? Otherwise, it would be, you can write, you have 10 seconds, 15 seconds, you may write, right? Because this is what we are going to do now. Until or unless you don't know which house is being ruled by what planet, it does not make any sense, right? We should understand this. Okay, moving ahead. So, absolutely correct, Narayana Prabhu. Venus is owning first house, and the Lord of first house is sitting in which house? Let me know.
Seventh, Prabhuji.
Absolutely correct. And with what planets? See, it's very simple. The Lord of first house, it is Venus because number 7 is written over here. And the Lord of first house is Venus, which is sitting in the 7th house, along with Mars and Sun. Along with Mars and Sun. This is how the interpretation is done. The Lord of first house is sitting in the 7th house, along with Sun and Mars, in what zodiac? The Aries zodiac, because the number 1 is Aries, right? Now we move ahead. The Lord of second house, let me know where it is sitting and with what planets, etc. Let me know.
Is also sitting
Mars
in
is
the seventh.
sitting, yeah, Mars is also sitting in the 7th house, Aries
Absolutely,
sign.
absolutely, right? Aries sign, and Aries sign is ruled by which planet? Let me know.
Mars.
Absolutely correct. That means Mars is sitting in own sign, right? And Mars is ruling the 7th house because number 1 is sitting in the 7th house. That means the Lord of 7th house is sitting in 7th house only, along with Venus as well as Sun, right? Okay. Now let me know which planet owns the 3rd house and it is sitting in which what house and with what planet.
Jupiter owns the ninth house and is sitting in the ninth house, yes, with in the third house with the Ketu.
Yes, Prabji, your answer was correct, Prabji, but the interpretation was wrong. Why? Because you were saying ninth house. It is not ninth house, it is the 3rd house. The Lord of 3rd house, it is Jupiter because Sagittarius, number 9 is sitting over there, and the Lord of number 9 is sitting in own house, right? Never get confused between zodiac and the houses. Houses, they are always stagnant, they never move in anyone's chart. But the zodiacs, they are always moving, right? They are always moving and they move anti-clockwise like this. That means this number 7 is sitting here after 2 hours. This zodiac would shift over here. The number 7 would move here, and number 6 would come here. Because one zodiac stays for 2 hours, 1.5 hour to 2 hour. Their duration is this. Sun stays in one sign for 1 month. For 1 month. The moon stays in one sign for 2.5 days to 3 days. And this Lagna or D1 chart, this stays for 1.5 hour to 2 hours. That means which is more accurate. Obviously, this D1 chart is more accurate. This is why we are reading or we are focusing more upon this D1 chart. Then after we are also supposed to move to moon chart. Then after reading moon chart, we are also supposed to look at sun chart. But the most important is your D1 chart, right? Okay, moving ahead. Which planet owns the 4th house?
Saturn.
Absolutely correct. And sitting where?
And Saturn is sitting in 10th house
Absolutely correct. In what sign?
in Cancer.
Absolutely correct.
And
Absolutely.
Cancer.
Yes, absolutely correct. Right. Okay. Uh, um, 5th house, Lord, where it is sitting? Let me know.
A sun is sitting in seventh house.
No, Mataji.
Hmm,
Mataji,
Shiva?
yes. See, it is number 11, and number 11, it is Aquarius. It is Aquarius, and Aquarius, it is ruled by Saturn. That means we would see, or we would look at the position of Saturn in this chart. Saturn is sitting in 10th house. That means two houses which is ruled by Saturn in this chart. It is number 4 house and number 5th house. The Lord of 4th house as well as 5th house, it is sitting in the 10th house in Cancer sign. Right? Sometimes, or we do have some planets which have two zodiac and they owns two houses in the horoscope, and planet like moon and sun, they own just one house in the horoscope. Yes, Vidiji, you want to ask?
The question is like the same, that two planets owning one planet owning two houses, but sitting in a single house. So what prediction do we can we make?
Yes, very simple.
Because it differs with the sign. It differs with the signs as well, and the strengthening of the houses. That's why.
Yes, absolutely right. See, it's very simple. The Lord of 4th house, it is sitting in the 10th house. So what could be the predictions that the person could do any profession which is related to hospitality or interior home designers, or um, uh, the person could work anything related to construction, even because 4th house is the property. So doing construction related or property related business. And then you are having the 5th lord in the 10th house. So what is 5th house? It is the intellect, it is the education, it is your children. That means the person could become a teacher, or the person, the person uh, works or does any profession where the intellect is required. So where we are stuck? Nowhere. We have answer related to 5th lord in the 10th house, which is something else, and we have the answers related to 4th lord in the 10th house, which is something else, right? But
Yes, but then which answer do we consider?
okay, for that you will have to look at the other factors too. If this person wants to go in the domain or in the field of hospitality, this person should have moon in the 10th house. If this person wants to become a teacher, this person should have Jupiter either in the 1st house or either in the 10th house, right? So
Yes.
looking at other planets, the position of other planets, where the moon is sitting, sun is sitting, what is the personality of this person, what is the likes and dislikes, what is the navamsha, you could then speak, okay, this person is meant for hospitality, or this person is meant for this. But see, it does not means that if I say that you are this person or this personality is meant for the teaching profession, that that means the Lord of 4th house sitting in the 10th house, it has now no meaning. No, no, absolutely incorrect. Maybe this could be also possible that this person could work as a teacher near around birthplace or near around his own house. This is also possible. No? This is also possible because the 4th house is sitting, or the 4th lord is sitting in the 10th house. And what is 4th house? 4th house is your birthplace or the place where you are living. So you have your profession, your office, your workplace, near around your birthplace or near around your house, right? And the fourth lord in the 10th house also means the mother of this person could be a government servant. So that does not mean that out of these two things, I have one thing is correct. That means the other thing is absolutely, it has now no value, no results or anything as such. No, any planet or any lord of any house, it is sitting anywhere in the horoscope, it is always influencing your personality. It is never such that only the first house and fourth house, seventh house, and 10th house they are working. The rest, all the houses, they are zero. They are not working. No. Every house, every planet in your horoscope, position of different planets, Navamsha chart, everything is continuously working, acting upon your personality. Right? I know you could have some doubts as of now because this is just starting. But yes, with time, you will be able to understand how the things are to be observed. Right? Any doubt?
No, Professor. Thank
Yes.
you. Hare Krishna.
Hari. Now you let me know which planet owns the sixth house.
Jupiter, probably.
Yes, absolutely. And it is sitting where?
Yeah.
In the third house.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. In the third house, the Lord of sixth house, it is sitting in the third house along with Ketu. Now, the seventh house we have already discussed. It is sitting in own sign along with Venus and Sun. Now, which planet rules the second house? Oh, I'm sorry, eighth house.
Venus, probably.
Yes, Venus is sitting where, Virgi?
Venus is sitting one house before, seventh.
Absolutely correct. The Lord of eighth house is sitting in the seventh house in Aries zodiac along with Mars and Sun. Now, which planet owns the ninth house? Which planet owns the ninth house? Number three, it is Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. That means Mercury is owning number three, right? Okay. Now, which planet rules the 10th house? The Mercury is owning the ninth house. Okay. Which planet rules the 10th house?
Moon in first
Absolutely correct.
house.
Absolutely correct, Mataji. Absolutely. Right. So, yes. Right. Which planet owns the 11th house?
Sun
And it is sitting where?
sitting in the seventh house.
Along with
Aries
Venus.
Sun.
Yes, Aries sign.
Venus
Along
and
with.
Mars.
Absolutely correct. Which planet owns the 12th house?
Mercury.
Yes, it is Mercury, right? It is sitting in the
Sixth house.
sixth house. Absolutely correct. So in this chart, we would come to conclusion that the first house as well as the eighth house, they are owned by Venus. The second house and seventh house, they are owned by Mars. The third house and sixth house, they are owned by Jupiter. And the 4th house and 5th house, they are owned by Saturn. The 9th house and 12th house, they are owned by Mercury. And the 10th house, it is owned by Moon. And 11th house, it is owned by Sun. Now, anyone who asks any question that I want to know anything, or you check your own chart. Let me check the 5th house of my horoscope. So 5th house, it is being owned by Saturn. So I will check the condition of Saturn in my chart, in this chart. Okay, Saturn is sitting in the 10th house in Cancer sign. Cancer, and Saturn is sitting in the Kendra sign. And the 5th lord is sitting in the 10th house. Right? And also, you are also supposed to look. Okay, that's something else. We'll jump to it later. Otherwise, you will get confused. Right? So this is how the things are things to be seen. Let's say, if I want to know the personality of this person, personality to be seen from 1st house. He's having moon in the 1st house, so he would be like more emotional, more dramatical, you can say. Not dramatical, but more emotional. And when the weather changes, he's the one who catches the cold and cough very soon. And the face is round and having more attachment to mother, right? And yes, the complexion is also fair, right? Also, so many things, right? Spots on the body somewhere. It's a height is good. Okay, so this is one thing. And then I am also supposed to look at the lord of this house, where it is sitting. The lord of 1st house, it is Venus. It is sitting where? It is sitting with Mars in Aries sign. Also along with Sun, it is sitting. Right? So this person would have the influence of Mars on the personality as well as the influence of Sun on the personality. And Moon is already sitting over there. And also this person, he was born, he must have taken birth on which day? Let me know.
Purnima.
Absolutely correct. Full moon day. Because Sun and Moon, they are in front of each other. Right? Now, if I want to know anything about my father, I would jump to 9th house. Okay, let me check what is the condition of 9th house. Rahu is already sitting over there. That means Rahu must have played a role in the life of my father. That does not mean that my father would be, or the father of this person would be very clever or anything, or false accusation, anything else. No, Rahu is always not bad, right? Then I will also look at the Lord of 9th house. The Lord of 9th house is Mercury. It is sitting in the 6th house, right? It is sitting in the 6th house. That means the struggle in the life of father. A father could be doctor or armed forces, or he could be a bank manager, or the person could have the inimical relationship with father, anything else. Then I am also supposed to look at the placement of sun in the chart, because sun represents my father or the father of this person. So sun here, it is sitting with Mars, it is sitting with Venus. So the father of this person would have the influence, or the personality of this father, or the life happenings, anything, the the life happenings of the father, they are being influenced by Venus, Mars as well. Rahu is influencing Venus and Sun, Venus and Mars, they are also influencing. And the Lord is sitting in the 6th house. That means if you want to judge any house, you are supposed to look at 3 factors. The house, the very first is house. The very first is house. The second is Lord of house. Lord of house. The third is the planet representative of that house. Planet representative. For example, the father to be seen from Sun, the guru to be seen from Jupiter, mother to be seen from Moon, younger siblings to be seen from Mars, wife to be seen from Venus. Right? 3 things to be seen. That this is a basic astrology. Advanced astrology covers even more. Right? So I think this is done for today because the time is high. We will continue from tomorrow. If you have any doubt, you may ask.
Prabhu, something with the 9th house that you were mentioning about on Ayurvedic medicine.
Yes.
What does that mean? 9th house Ayurvedic.
Bruji, see, I think. Wait. Yes. The 9th house represents the Ayurvedic medicine. Because see, Bruji, any disease that person has, any disease, see, Bruji, any disease that person has, it only gets cured if the person is fortunate enough. I told you that sometimes people, they come out of the diseases like cancer. They win over the cancer, the 3rd stage cancer, anything. And sometimes people just they were going through a little disease, or that disease was not so strong, but still they lose. So it is because of the 9th house, because 9th house is fortune. Until or unless the person is fortunate, the medicine is not going to react. And in previous time, we were not having any medicine as such homeopathic, no, any as English medicines. English medicines, they are having side effects. The Dhanvantari, the incarnation of Vishnu, Dhanvantari Maharaj or Dhanvantari Dev, he came up with a pot in Samudra Manthana, which was just Ayurvedic medicines. It wasn't anything as English medicine. English medicines, they do have the negative reaction, but not the Ayurvedic. So in previous time, the medicines were Ayurveda he only. It was just Ayurveda. It wasn't English or anything as such. Today we are making it Ayurvedic or English medicines, etc. So you can say the 9th house represents the healing of the disease, you can say, because the 9th house is just hold on for a second. Yes, because the 9th house is 4th from the 6th house. It is 4th from the 6th house. The 4th from the 1st house represents the happiness of your It represents the happiness of the person. Happiness of the person. Similarly, the happiness of the debts, disease, and enemy to be seen from the ninth house. If the ninth house is strengthened, the debts, disease, enemy, they would go. When the Parikshit Maharaj, he was in the womb of Uttara, the Ashwathama, he released a very powerful weapon. But Krishna was there inside the womb and he was protecting the Parikshit Maharaj and he got protected. That means the blessing of the Supreme to be seen from the ninth house. If the blessing is very strengthened, nobody, even the disease, debts, and enemy could harm the person. Right? And also, whenever the Lord of ninth house, it is a benefic planet and it is influencing or aspecting the sixth house, we would say that with the blessing of the Supreme Personality, the disease of the person would fade away. The disease of the person would go away because this person is having that fortune. He is fortunate enough. This is how we are supposed to see.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Very good. So, any different doubt? No doubts. So, thank you for today. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Jai, thank you, Prabhu. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Bol. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Bol.
Krishna, Prabhuji, Jai.
Krishna.
Jai Jai Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mata.